Hello again. Are you working? I can never tell. Yeah. Sorry. I retied my tie. And I checked out the video and realized it was probably hard to hear with the wind as I drove, so I'm just gonna set it like that for now. So again, we're driving through the bison unit. I'm driving without my seatbelt on, which we can tell. Buckle it behind me. Give me a second. So just cleared the memory card, so hopefully I won't run out of battery. That's always the other obstacle with the camera. So yeah, through the bison units. There's generally at least one or two hanging out. Hopefully we'll get to see some. I mean, have photos of them, but videos are so much cooler, you know? Driving along here, there's always dust billowing behind me and behind everyone, but I always think it's smoke. I'm like, oh shoot, I broke the van driving up this hill. So I don't know if you can see the left and right side up here, but it's kind of striking the difference between the two burn regimes. So many shrubs on the left, barely any shrubs on the right, and that's only because they've grown big enough to be hardy, enough to survive the fires. Shrubs are bad. Trees are bad. That's how the prairie works. This hill's always another fun one, because you never know if anyone's coming from above. And you can go pretty fast coming down and then stand up it, because you have to, otherwise your van will wreck. No bison, I wonder where they're all at. There's 600 on the prairie. And they can manage to hide fairly effectively. I mean, there's a lot of space for them to roam, I guess. They've been over on the west side, I guess, of Kanta for a few days now. I haven't really seen them around. So we're at the end of the bison unit, and this loop kind of continues around and goes back in, so you see the west end. But I don't really work over there, so the other way instead. But of course, gates first. Always gates. Leaving the bison behind and heading toward the ungrazed plots. 1D, 2D. I was in 2D this morning catching sparrows. Could always just open both sides, but then you have to like swing them and coordinate catching them, and luckily it's not windy today. Some days it's windy and it is damn hard to get this open. Excuse my language, but there are days it takes me like 15 minutes because the wind is blowing so hard and the rope is so taut you can't get the lock off. The locks here are combination locks, Sesame brand, which I think is fun because you can say open sesame every time, but they're all 1220, and hopefully they stay that way for a long time in case I'm ever in the area I can stop by and sneak in. So yeah, over here is the plot that's burned every 20 years beyond the fence on your left, and over here is the plot that's burned every year. One day every year. On your right. You can see the difference. Not as much in this part. Generally find blue grosbeaks along this stretch. In fact, I think no, just a larkspur. Just a larkspur. But yeah, blue grosbeaks along with the usual cowbirds and eastern meadowlarks. Upland sandpipers like to perch on the little poles. So yeah, over on your right is 1D burned every year. And then we're heading up to 2D burned every 2 years, and it's been a year since it's been burned. I don't know if you can see it from your angle, but it's pretty much what you would think of when you think of grassland. Just like straight grass. That's hernia. Baby. And drive at the same time. But it's pretty much just grass. And I've seen some really cool birds in there. I mean, today I was trying to catch grasshopper sparrows and caught 2 hens of those instead, which are a sweet bird to find. It's just not what I wanted to find necessarily. Hope you can see. And I've seen tail flycatchers fly over, and that's where the prairie chickens are. That's where they leck, so they generally put up a blind that you can come and see them during their lecking season. But yeah, sometimes it's just annoying to be in that plot because it's now waist deep, and it's so homogeneous that if you find anything or lose anything, it's like good luck ever finding it again. Unless you rake. That's what I've done before. So I'm going to take you right. I don't go right very often. Mostly just to access other parts of 2D. But why not? I'll turn you sideways. My bad. But yeah, they can fly in through the top. There's like slots at the top. But then they go up into the corners because that's how they think to get out, to go up to the light corners and not the dark top. So they can never get back out those slots. So he comes by. I mean, there's food in there, so they're safe, unfortunately. He comes by every couple of days and bans them. Apparently with just like using a butterfly net. lost my oscilloscope. I thought it was here. So I searched this area for a long time. I'm turning around now just because I could go down that way, but I barely work down there. So you can generally find pheasants and bobwhite, but head back this way to get both sides of the road. Then I'll take you to the cattle units. Bison grazing helps with that diversity by getting rid of the grass so the forms can grow. So over here on the left, I don't know if you can see, are some little like experimental covers, I guess. Little tents almost of over vegetation. So they're checking artificial rainfall and sun levels. Just looking at, rainfall is supposed to change with global warming and seeing what that will do to the prairie. So they have this plot and then they have another one up front that they're comparing and running different experiments on. So over on your right is one of the C3s, I don't remember. The plots that I don't work in, I don't know very well. Their names at least. These plots on the left, I have no idea, I don't work in them. I think they're K's. Not that I know what K stands for. You can look it up, I guess. Yeah, I was right. C3C, C3B on our left. So I'm going to take you along another 2-track now. This is the one between C3B and C3C. It's kind of bumpy at the start. I apologize. Potholes. This is another plot that I've spent some quality time in, C3C, not C3B as much. But the C stands for cattle, so we're in the cattle units now, or we will be once we cross the fence. I spend most of my time in cattle units, almost all my time. 2D and N2B are the only non-cattle plots I work in. When in reality we have quite a few plots that are non-cattle, but the cattle and the grasshopper sparrows do really well together. So as long as they do patch burn grazing and not just like normal grazing of cattle. So up here is the electric fence, the only electric fence that I cross at any point in Kansa. And it was broken for a while. I don't even know if you can see it from your angle, but they're just like springs, which I'm always afraid I'm going to drive through, not remembering they're there, because they're kind of hard to see. So both of the handles are broken on this fence, which is convenient since it's electric. But we have tape on them right now, which seems to be doing the trick. Cowbird's in front of us. These ones are banded. Some Brahms cowbirds. I don't know if you can hear the cowbirds singing. They sure make a wide range of noises. So C3C is one of the few plots I can think of that actually has a 2-track running through it. For a little bit right there. I think now C3B is on one side and C3C is on the other. But as you can see on the left, I don't know if you can see on the left, but assuming you can see on the left, there are a lot of sumac plants. And this is burned every 3 years. There shouldn't be sumacs growing like they are. I mean, this one hasn't been burned in 3 years, I think. But 20 years ago, there wouldn't have been sumac here. But unfortunately, because of the increased CO2 levels, the sumac is now out competing some of the other plants around it. So now you have these islands of sumac. So the 2-track keeps going here. And I generally park up here. I'm just going to take you around and again sideways, my bad. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's a pretty steep drop. Makes for some long walks around here. But pretty lovely plot. Over there you can see I-77. And that's how I generally get into Kanza. So I'll put you back up now. Actually, I'm going to check your battery level. Oh, nope, you're good for now. So I'm just going to turn around and basically go right back out that fence. My least favorite part of Kanza, all the fences. No, I lied. Ticks. I don't know, chiggers have been worse lately, so maybe chiggers right now. And fences. Chiggers and fences. Broke my glasses today crawling under a barbed wire fence. Because I have to kind of like log roll out from some of the barbed wire where there aren't gates. And I rolled right over them because I got my hoodie caught. So I'm trying to like not strangle myself around with my hood. So quite unfortunate. I hate barbed wire fences. Little stab marks all over my arms. And electric fences. So yeah, this is C3C. I've had some of my more strange nests here. Like nests where a lot of males are really close. So maybe extra fathers at nests. But they've all failed before I could tell. This is the only plot where I just like randomly found the grasshopper sparrow nest. Every other time I found it using our ropes that we drag to scare them up. But I was just walking and one flushed from right by my feet. So, that's cool. I'm gonna be back by noon, but it's like 11:40 now. So, 1 o'clock is, I guess. Myself almost stuck because this area can get really muddy around this gate. So there are times that I just can't drive. I'm like, oh shoot. over to C3SB. C3SB. It's quite a nice plot. I think the S stands for summer burn. I think that's one of the summer burn plots. Because most of the burning is done in the spring when there really isn't anything like nesting, like really early spring. But they also have experiments running with a couple fall burn plots and a couple winter burn plots and spring or summer burn plots. They generally burn like second week of August, when I think the only thing nesting are like goldfinches. Passing another one of Brahms cowbird traps. So over here on our right, we're transitioning from C3B to C3A, and there's a road that runs out here through this gate on our right, and that's how you would leave Kanza, and that's how I'll go out in a few minutes. This is my way to C3SB rather. And again, we have a cowbird trap coming up, and right after the cowbird trap is another little 2-track that runs between C3SB and C3A, and it is the most treacherous 2-track I've ever driven on. I've seen worse. Over at N2B, there's a 2-track that basically you have to run through the river. So it's like, I'm not taking the van through the river. But this one, it's right here, and you have to go basically down and up. And the hill is so dramatic, I'm terrified every time. Only done it a couple times, thank goodness. But some pretty steep drops at Kanza. I don't know if you can see any are like on the left or now in front of us. Pretty dramatic drop changes. There's a blue grosbeak that just flew on our right. I think it was out of your line of sight. Got a pretty bird. So up here was where all this construction was originally, where the neon construction where they're putting in their cable. But I don't know if, since the trucks are now at headquarters, if they've moved. I've never actually gone down this road before. It'd be kind of cool to do at some point. Especially because I've heard it's really good to find herps, snakes, and turtles in the evenings, and night jars. C3SB is on our right. Yeah, the construction team is still ahead of us. I was hoping it was open. Come back here. I don't think it's going to open before I leave, but I've heard it's a cool place to be. So I'm actually going to get out here, since this is my favorite plot, and show you around. Hopefully grab some batteries just in case you run out. Hi. So this is one of the Ks, K2B, I think, on this side. I forgot the van always locks when I drive. It's so dusty. Check that out. So dusty. Batteries. The van is very messy. Where did I throw batteries? Probably we're up in the front seat. Batteries. Oh, right here on the grounds. Alright, just in case. Alright, so this is another barbed wire fence. I don't know if you can see it or not, But we have one little spot tagged with this flagging. We always carry this flagging, or different colors of flagging, to mark where we see birds flush and stuff like that. But this marks the spot where it's broken. The barbed wire is not attached on this pole. So it means that if you like push it down with your hand, you can sneak under. So yeah, under the barbed wire. So this is a cow plot. Last few days there's been hundreds of cows on here, but there are not right now. They might be hiding in the riparian section. Here is a buffalo wallow that we're standing in that hasn't seen buffalo in a couple hundred years. These are cattle trails. I use cattle trails all the time, or bison trails, depending on where I'm at. I'll just take you over here. There was a nest over here, a sparrow nest. There's sparrows singing around us. I don't know if you can hear them, and one's chipping. But this is my favorite bird. I think I've mentioned him a few times. Pods, pink, orange, dark silver were his band colors, and it might actually be him chipping at us, if I had to guess, because he kind of sticks around. But he had a nest right over here, and then a second nest a little bit beyond that, but unfortunately the second one failed. I won't take you all the way over, but it was like right in between these two bush patches was the first one, and then the second one was beyond, between the next two bush patches. But right over here, in between these bush patches, was the first nest I ever watched, and I only watched it for a day, and it was, all the nestlings were killed by cowbirds, and it was horrendous, because they were all scalped, and it was really gross. So here's a grasshopper sparrow chipping at us. I don't know if you can hear him or not. My battery's running out. I'm gonna walk toward him and then switch out my batteries. And zoom me out first so you don't get sick. As sick, I guess. It's all relative. Wonder who this is. I don't have binoculars on me, stupidly, so I can't see his color bands unless I like basically sit on him. She might let us do here. He's just fluttering along. I don't know if you can see him, he's creeping on the ground. There are all sorts of reasons why these are named grasshopper sparrows. They kind of sound like insects, they eat insects, grasshoppers. They also act like them a little bit. He's just creeping on the ground. Alright, I'm going to switch the batteries now and try to see who this guy is. See you soon.